Hey everyone, welcome to a novel review book podcast, 3-minute snippets. Big ideas in bite-sized chunks, and today I want to talk about oral composition and what that meant for texts that were orally comprised. Now, orally comprised texts came about in a period of time when there were no books. There are of course no TVs and films, but more importantly, there were no books. And so what you had was these great big public stories that bards told from town to town. The bards themselves were not the writers of these stories, they simply inherited these public stories and changed them as they presented them. The presentations could last 1-2 nights, but could go as long as 8 or 9 nights. It really depended on how they were being received by the people they were being told to. If the crowd was especially receptive to a story, the bard might lengthen the story so he could be there longer. But if the crowd wasn't enjoying the story, he might think of wrapping the story up a lot quicker and moving to the next town. This is kind of the beauty of the orally comprised text. It's really flexible, it's really fluid, it's really adaptable. If you had a story about farming and you went to a town that was all cow farmers, you could change your story to reflect that. Therefore, the people listening to the story could see themselves within the story. They could appreciate and understand the story in a way that perhaps other people couldn't. If that same bard left and went to a town of sheep farmers, he could simply change the story to be about sheep farming. This is where the paradox of orally comprised text actually comes in. The beauty of the orally comprised text is that it is incredibly flexible, that it is incredibly fluid, that it is adaptable to change. But of course, when you write it down, you're simply chaining the story to the page, you're locking it in. You're locking in a certain version of that story. If that story is local to a specific area and someone came and conquered and killed everyone from that area, that story is just simply lost to the annals of history. The paradox is, a lot of the beauty from the orally comprised story comes from the fleeting nature of it, the beauty in the fleeting and ephemeral nature of it, and that is of course lost when you write it down. But if we didn't write it down, the story would either completely change over time to the point that it's unrecognizable from its original state, or of course, as I said, be lost to the annals of time. That was a very brief look at oral composition. If you want to see more, make sure you like and subscribe.